A storm approaches. Egypt is not ready. Must I face this threat alone? The falcon's eyes are upon the horizon.
Welcome on in everyone to a brand new series for the channel. I'm Space Wizard Total War, and today we're going to be diving right back into Total War Pharaoh for the Dynasties update. I have been absolutely loving everything that Dynasties has brought to the game, from the Trojan factions, the minor factions, over here and with the Mesopotamian, all of the different ancient legacies. Everything is glorious. So what we're going to be doing is playing as Ramesses this time. Decided we've been showing off so much of the other kind of northern factions here with our streams. Let's go ahead and take it on back to Egypt and show off my secondary favorite faction. My favorite being Ramesses, of course. He is down here in pretty safe area. He's actually the only one we'll show it off for real. Well, I don't want to, because it's going to remove my customization. He's the only faction that actually shows as starting as a normal difficulty for the Egyptians. Every single one of the other ones that's not a minor faction shows as easy, which I think is quite interesting. Ramesses is going to be right up front here, so he's going to be taking the brunt of the Sea People's invasions. He's also going to be having to balance Seti's aggression and the Canaanites too, so it's going to be quite a bit of fun. We're going to have Irsu very close to us, Bay as well, so we'll see what kind of machinations and wars we get up to. For Ramesses, we're going to be driven by reckless ambition. Ramesses sees himself as chosen of the gods, destined to rule as the Pharaoh. Thus, he's well suited to forging ahead at full speed, achieving swift victories on his path to one day claiming Egypt's throne. They do have skins. These used to be DLC paid skins, but now they're kind of free for everyone. Ramesses' skin, I think, would look fantastic if it wasn't for this face paint. Just take this face paint off and you have yourself a pretty good looking, and probably the crown too, until you've actually claimed the crown of Pharaoh. But it looks, I like the bow, everything else about this looks awesome. Just not the face paint, and the Nimes crown, or whatever crown this is, should not really be here until you become Pharaoh itself. Regardless, we're going to go back to being normal Ramesses. We're going to be playing on a veteran and a normal. A veteran for campaign, which is going to significantly lower upkeep costs for AI factions and allow them to recruit more. So they'll be recruiting more, they'll have more armies, and they'll also be building up their settlements a little bit faster than us. For battle difficulty, we're going to have this set to normal, because my idea being that if I have 2 units of Habiru militia clashing, that should be a complete coin toss, 50-50 as to who wins. If we put it on even 1 tick higher, the AI gets so many cheats that if you throw your unit of Habiru militia into another, they will lose that fight 100% of the time, hands down. So you lose a lot of the fun identity that your units get. So this is my reasoning. For Ramesses as well, our starting situation, we're going to be worshipping at Ra, which we'll see what that means when we get into the campaign itself. Our native roster, which we have different realms across the map, and those realms are going to denote different native units that you can actually recruit there. So where we're at, we have Sinai and Ret Junu units, which are going to have high lethality, some fairly decent bowmen. None of them have too crazy range, but you do have fire arrows, which are a little bit more rare once you get out of Egypt. But high lethality from axes, and some pretty decent armored Canaanite chariots in the late game. For his faction unique units, we have the Magi and the Sheridan kind of categorical units. The Magi being a lower model unit count, but they're going to have very, very good stats and usually several traits to kind of make up for the fact that they have less guys overall. We'll also have the Sheridan, which are a tribe nearby to Egypt that was often kind of hired as the Pharaoh's bodyguard for just how fearsome they were in combat. That's going to be represented by them having fear and the ability to kind of have a two-handed melee switch, where they are going to put those shields on their backs and use their spear two-handed, just giving them a little bit more attack and movement at the cost of their defense. And obviously they won't have that shield anymore blocking missiles for them. So they're very versatile armies, very elite, very versatile. So we should be forging across the sands of Egypt like an unstoppable tide of bronze and blood. For our unique faction buildings, actually I'm going to go ahead and get rid of, there's a little bit of a weird visual thing where you have to pull up the faction summary to get rid of the units if you actually click on them. But for Ramesses' unique buildings, we are going to have the Military Academy, boosting up our armies by quite a bit, actually. We'll have the Wine Market for happiness and production of all of our resources, some workforce growth. We'll have the Necropolis of the Honored Dead to increase happiness and influence in the provinces this is in and the adjacent to it. We'll also have the Magi Headquarters, which is going to unlock us more of those Magi units. They are actually going to have a unit cap on them, so you'll have to increase that over time. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to actually recruit anymore. This is also how you recruit those Magi as well. So it's your recruitment building for them, as well as how you actually get more of them for your armies in general. Now, the last thing we'll go over here is our campaign customization. So for all of my campaigns, I have a new preset that I like to use, where I am going to be increasing the resource deposit values up to high. So what this basically means is that for every different settlement, it produces a different resource, and they have a set amount of that resource that they can actually produce at 100% rate. So for default, it is set at 20,000. So food, wood, bronze, stone, doesn't matter what it is, they only would have 20,000 to produce at a normal amount. And as soon as you run through that, the resource is considered depleted, and then you have to, or you don't have to, but it's going to actually start producing resources at a less amount. I think it's 50% or so. It's just not something I want to deal with in our campaigns. We're going to set this to high. That way everything is set to 50,000 across the board. The AI shouldn't run through those deposits before we get there, so we should have a normal kind of campaign. The other thing I'd like to change is going to be the Pillars of Civilization and Disaster frequency. It just makes those disasters happen a little bit more often, makes things a little bit more spicy, throws wrenches in your plans a wee bit more often. The other thing we're going to do here is going to change the battle terrain severity to high. All of the terrain across all of the battlefields is going to have different modifiers that are going to be affecting all of your different unit types. Be that cavalry, infantry of different kinds of heavy or weight classes. All of it's going to be affected by terrain in different ways. So with this terrain severity, we can set that to its 15% more. So that way we're going to have to be a little bit more tactical on the battlefield, and it gives our battles a little bit more flavor. I think it's a fun way to add that to your games. You can change up several of these little battle modifiers here to really, really change up the feel of each of your actual battles there, which is pretty fun. With all that out of the way, though, let's go ahead and dive on in and fulfill our destiny.
I am Meneptah. No, I am the great Pharaoh Meneptah. 10 years ago, I inherited the throne in the shadow of my father. The strong bull, the protector of Egypt, the chosen of Ra and beloved of Amun, the mighty Pharaoh, Ramesses the Second. Egypt has flourished throughout my reign, but now I sense the eyes of Set upon me, and dark times are coming. What? What will happen to my kingdom after my soul slips into the eternal lands of the afterlife? When my father Ramesses II reconquered the Sinai Peninsula, he made two things clear. First, our empire is built upon the stone and bronze found there. And second, we must never let it slip from our grasp again. Ramesses, son of Setnacht, is yet to cut his lock of youth, yet his martial skill and leadership surpass that of men twice his age. He guards the Sinai Peninsula at my behest, leading his loyal Magi against all who would threaten our people. One such threat descends from the north, where the rebellious Canaanites are a constant thorn in my side. However, Ramesses has stamped out their defiance at every turn. He accrues victories with ease, and his pride grows with every triumph. Such arrogance is not unfounded. The boy has wreathed himself in glory, anointing his khopesh in the blood of Egypt's enemies. Yet, I worry for the royalty that runs in his veins. When he inevitably seeks the throne of Egypt, will the gods help him grasp it? He claims to bear divine favor, and even I cannot deny an air of destiny surrounds him. Perhaps the gods call on young Ramesses to match the greatness of his namesake, and one day roll over all of Egypt. Ramesses, I'm sure, believes so.
I believe so. Ramesses the Paragon, here we are. Finally on in. So our strengths and weaknesses unique to our faction are our faction buildings are going to be a major source of happiness, a major source of high tier units, but the unique buildings are only going to be in provincial capitals, so that's going to be something we're going to have to keep in mind. We'll kind of be building up tall, similar to Babylon. Our faction units are going to be elite and powerful. They're going to excel both at melee and ranged combat, but they're going to have small unit size, meaning they can get overwhelmed with the likes of SETI, or just way more guys than we have ourselves. Our commands are going to allow our armies to attack in march stance and allow us to train Magi units very quickly. For court, we'll have 2 actions per turn, and our suggested position will be first commander for the time being, but obviously our suggested position is the Pharaoh. Excellent. Glorious stuff. Shrines of Ra improve its chariot recruitment and increase workforce of their province. Place them somewhere you can recruit chariots. Heard. Alright, so for any kind of new to the Dynasties update, I will just very briefly go over kind of what it is added that we can kind of even show off here, besides the fact that the Aegean had been added in pretty much in its entirety. We'll zoom on around there, that way the map is setting how it's supposed to. And then we do now have the ruling family tree now, so we can get our lords married and have a lovely family tree. You can also use this to boost up your diplomatic relations with others. Begotten by the sun god. 8 Ardor? Well, he's just the main character, isn't he? I'm sorry, 8? See how long it's been since I've actually played a Ramesses campaign. It's a ton of fun, but he is a
Destiny calls.
just so much to do. So we get to start with the common light armor, which is going to drop how much fatigue buildup our bodyguards have. And we've got the Magi bow, so we can fire while moving and have a more reload speed reduction. We get to start with the trait Ambitious, so we are going to be gaining more experience per turn for Ramesses. So the more we're spending turn and march or suffering attrition casualties, we'll build that up further. Interesting stuff. Alright, so I will not be spending too much time explaining everything there is to Pharaoh. If you have any questions, please go ahead and blast those down in the comments. I'm actually going to go ahead and change our bodyguard to the heart of the Shardana. Feared as invaders, fearsome as protectors, makes the bodyguard look sweet. So we are begotten by the sun god. This is going to boost up our skills here. That is, I don't remember it being 8 before, though. I can't lie. That is ridiculous. So movement restored after winning a battle, 20%. Or Vanguard deployment for all of our Shurden. Well, I mean, that's pretty cool, but 20% movement restored after winning? Yes please. That's what we're going for. Sweet. So our starting army is going to have Magi Swordsmen, Magi Archers, 2 Shurden Raiders, and 3, lower Egyptian Militia. Interesting. 160. So the lower Egyptian Militia are going to be kind of very similar to your... it's unfortunate to say, but very similar to your Skaven over in Warhammer, where they have a lot more units per model. They're just not going to be as good at fighting as anyone else. They're also going to get tired more often. They're going to be expendable. But they're good at breaking armor. They're not really so scared of being hot, and they are immune to desert attrition, which is great. Alright, what else do we start out with here with Ramesses? 2 settlements, Nebgehez and Nikel, which Nebgehez starts out with the Shurden Barracks and the Magi Office, a woodcutting yard, and a wheat mill. So pretty well set up already. Actually, very well developed. We just need 2 more workforce to get up to the Vizier's residence. And we have the Bronze Foundry here in Nikel. And the Proving Hall so that everyone in our province will be getting more recruit rank. These are some pretty good buildings. We'll probably come on back to this after we fight our first battle. I'm not sure exactly what we'll want. Wood construction cost reduction by 15% does sound pretty nice, but we would be then using an entire slot on this, and it's only going to be producing 20% more wood. So we're producing 30 here. That's going to be doing almost nothing. So we really won't be going for that one. If anything, I'm going to go for the Bronze Foundry right off the bat here to give us a little bit more bronze income. That way we can afford even stronger units. It's nighttime at the moment, which makes it a wee bit harder to see everything. So we should, if we pull up our known factions, we should be friends with most of the Egyptian factions near us. Especially Senakti, our father here. He actually has his own faction, and you can play as him as a minor faction too. Pyro Ramesses does not like us so much, or at least he claims they don't like us. Most of the Egyptians should have no issue with us, except for probably just a fair few of them, so it makes sure we have a couple of enemies. Paramun really doesn't like us. Past war with Paramun, war with Sukkot. So good. Rakotis also doesn't like us so much. Seti doesn't. Merneptah does. And then the nomads are the nomads. Okay, we'll come on into diplomacy as well. Pharaoh has a little bit of a different diplomacy thing where you have your resources you'll be trading. And you don't trade like normal, so you'll be trading resources instead of just setting up a trade agreement and making gold per turn.
Chosen of Ra.
Go ahead and snag this way station. Allows us to move a bit further. Boink. And then we'll go ahead and annihilate this army in front of us. We are outnumbering them by a long shot. Why? That's a little bit messed up. I am in control. He's got 2 bowmen of the Habiru variety. I mean, his Habiru militia are going to be better overall than our lower Egyptians. So 24 attack, 29 defense, 22 and 28 actually. They're pretty even. They just have the bonus versus shields, so similar to your bonus versus infantry or bonus versus large from any of your other Total War titles, bonus versus shield is the exact same. Whereas if they are attacking a unit with a shield, it's going to be adding 5 to their overall weapon strength, as well as their melee attacks. This is going to boost up to 27 if they're fighting one of my shield units. And then they'll also be gaining 5 more attack as well, which will actually split even between normal and armor-piercing damage. So it looks like it's a 20-13, so it's probably going to be very close to... It's probably just going to be 3 and 2, that's how they do it. So there'll be 3 normal damage, 2 armor-piercing. But it's still pretty cool. So we will want to watch out, and of course Hanno here is going to be have some pretty heavy armor. Well, let's take it to them. Auto resolves, thinking we're going to annihilate them, and I think they're probably right. The good old Ramesses dropkick. Alright, so we'll go ahead and deploy. The weather conditions here for this first battle are dry and sweltering, so as time goes on, it'll get hotter and increase fatigue buildup. That's no problem. This is a beautiful map. They have the extreme low ground, though. And imagine trying to fight up between through this choke point. You could kind of bog people down here and sneak around, but that is likely not what they're going to try. So we'll go ahead and throw our lower Egyptian militia kind of here. Our Shurden, we are going to... Let's do something where we have these guys taking the majority, or like 2 on one side, 1 on the other. We'll have the Shurden ready to throw those javelins here, and then here as well. We'll go ahead and have our archers. I think we should have... Well, Ramesses should be easily able to outrange their archers. But the other ones we have aren't going to be quite as good at it. We'll have the Magi Swordsman here. We're going to give them a nice flank. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of our units here. Exactly. We got your Magi, which look fantastic. Even with some of my kind of strange, probably some of my own texture issues here, we've got the color lines, but we will not worry about that. They've got their elite bronze swords, their belt buckles that show that they are indeed the champions. A couple of them have that, I guess, the cheetah print shields. Not amazing shields. So these Magi Swordsmen, like I said, they're pretty much your basic tier Magi. They're just very elite. You got your shirt in here with their horn helmets. A little bit better shields, and javelins are an absolute menace with the lethality edition. So they added, if you were not aware or haven't been around for any of my streams, they added lethality to the game now, where each individual hit is going to have a percentage chance to just outright kill whoever they are striking. So for the club guys, it's usually not very high, but every single time they do connect with their club, it'll have a 5% chance to outright just slay the enemy they are hitting. Armor does have a little bit of an effect, but I haven't quite locked down exactly what it is, and as soon as I do know, I will go ahead and tell you all. Let's see, the last units we have to show off here are going to be the Magi Archers, which are very similar looking to your Magi Swordsmen, just with bows.
Our javelins have the advantage.
Their bows almost look like they are gilded in bronze of some sort. Well, not some sort, but they definitely look like they're gilded in bronze. And then Ramesses himself, with the heart of the Shardana bodyguards. They look a little bit more... They actually look a little bit more Canaanite, but they look at these blades. Those are some extra long blades to reach out and get in someone. Extra shivs just in case.
They are nothing more than peasant farmers.
Nothing more than peasant farmers. We'll find out, won't we? Let's get this first battle going. Even though they are peasant farmers, we won't want to be too arrogant. Ramesses, you go after this first group of Habiru archers.
As one.
As one. I'm going to have my Magi Swordsman flank. Javelins, since they have a little bit of a shield situation going on, we're going to have them advance. Because their javelins have, if we slow things down here, 50% lethality, so as long as that javelin connects, it has just a half chance to kill whoever it does hit, which I think is ridiculously amazing. Okay, so we'll get things off of slow-mo, because that feels cheesy. Keep advancing. Ramesses and the Magi get firing on these other Habiru. I guess I gave them the order a little bit too slow. Go ahead and charge on in here. Get them good and surrounded.
Infantry moving. Marching on.
Javelins, keep doing your thing. Look at that damage. In fact, they're dying so quickly we need to get in here and actually zoom in to see it. Yeah, using your skirmishers, at least your javelin men that have shields as kind of an up-front block is always the way to go. Arrows are raining on down now. I think I got connected with right in the side of the skull. They've also done a bit of a change where all of your ranged units will have, ooh, right in the back of the head, either a mixed shot where they're firing arc or direct, or you can tell them to fire one or the other. So we're about to win here already. Start throwing your javelins at this general. So I'll show it off here with, say, these Magi archers. So we'll keep it in slow-mo. And so you can come on over to this icon here, and they are naturally always going to be default in mixed shot. But we'll have you just kind of stop, chill out there for a moment there, my friend. We could use it with Ramesses. So you can see the range lethality on your mixed shot is going to be less. That's just because it's showing off what it is kind of base here with the arcing shot, which is what you're going to naturally be firing. You can kind of see they're shooting that now, which is kind of firing through the air up in an arc. You can have them fire in a direct shot, which has a little bit less range by, it looks like, a whole 90, but it has 36% range lethality, which is incredibly hefty. So you want to try to have yourself an arc shot for the beginning of the fight, and then swap it on over once the battle is truthfully engaged. I'll quit darling though, and we'll finish things off and chase these poor fools down. Oh, they don't actually have javelins; they have axes to throw.
There is no hope!
Give them a good cut.
Victory was never
Our militia took a little bit of damage there because we were throwing javelins over the back of their heads, which is always a scary prospect for everyone involved. Alright, Ramesses, you get moving. We'll have everyone kind of run down the rest of these poor fools here, and I'll catch you all back at the campaign map. Give them the business. Yeah. We'll take it. That first battle there with Ramesses is not difficult. But some of the other factions, it actually is kind of tough, but as you can see there with Ramesses, no, absolutely not. 111 kills going to our Sheridan. They secure the golden sword this time. We'll see how often they can. We'll see if they just continue to fight over it. We will go ahead and have them. Egypt is powerful and merciful.
Spread word of my might.
We got ourselves a poisoner.
I grow stronger each day.
There are many banes, venoms, and toxins in the natural world that will kill men quickly, slowly, or merely make them very sick indeed. This one knows them all. Also, we got Marathi in our army already.
Destiny calls me, and I am compelled.
I'm sorry, more lethality? I mean, 0.5% isn't a ton, but it's more than 0. That's great. Alright, for our next title, what does the +3 here do? Melee defense for the entire army? Dude. That's great. If we get up to this, we get charge, gives us breakthrough charges. I'm actually going to... We're going to go ahead and ignore everything but Ardor for now. And we're going to get up to getting up to the charge. This is an ability that we can give to ourselves or others, which just increases charge speed, charge bonus, and gives you breakthrough charges. Basically, you ignore charge defense and charge reflect, and your charge bonus is doubled. So instead of lasting 10 seconds, it's going to last for 20, which I think is fantastic. You want to hear those bones break. And then once you max that on out, you're actually going to gain access to night battles, which I think just lowers enemy leadership by a certain amount.
Ramesses the Bold.
Which, I mean, lowering leadership in a game like this is very important. Alright, Ramesses, on to suck it. Which I can't help, but there is the only way you can say this one. Apologies if you are from Suck It, but I feel like Suck It is the way you say it. So we've got 2 Habiru archers we're going to have to be dealing with before we have our bowmen switch over. We have fire arrows, though, so all of their guys are going to be hiding up front and trying to basically just kind of hunker down and wait for us to come in. Even minor settlement battles can be a little bit challenging. We're just going to light their stuff on fire, and Baldassare here is going to have to run for his life or risk getting very toasty indeed. Alright, I have to mention, I absolutely love Ramesses' crazy eyes. He is staring into this man's soul, and he should be worried. Okay, well, nothing spicy for our weather right now. I don't think we really want to make it so. Let's have our first few battles here go without too many hiccups. They do have a defensive tower in the center here we'll have to worry about. Ever so slightly. I mean, I just think we avoid that altogether, coming from over this side, because we can actually get the high ground on them and have Ramesses fire over the top. So let's go ahead and set up our militia boys. We can't deploy very close on this side, but I think that's entirely worth it. We'll have this group deploy a little bit further back, and I'm going to have my Magi swordsmen. There's going to be kind of a strange where they can kind of move in and around the swordsmen and add themselves to the flanks, and the Magi can actually back up from there. They don't have the retreat stance, but we have a couple of stances we could use. I don't tend to go for the advance stance. It just isn't very good unless it gives you additional melee attack or defense.
ready to launch.
Yeah, so we'll do something like this, where these Sheridan Raiders can fall back, but nice and compact.
Destined for victory.
Archers and Ramesses. Let's go ahead and have the ranged up front in the first group for once. My Lower Egyptian militia in guard mode. Ramesses and the other archers in guard mode as well. And let's get it. Battle begin. We advance. So for many battles, if you have a lot of distance to travel, you are going to just want to walk. Fatigue is very important. They're just going to come out and face us, are they? Alright, hang on, guys. Strategy changes. Here they come.
Onwards! Gain ground!
Ramesses come out here just a little ways, get a little bit of ground on one another.
For glory eternal!
We'll advance these three. Start launching at those archers. You do the same with the other archers.
Archers, loose!
Javelins here.
For glory eternal! To battle!
Would advance.
Infantry moving! Arrows away!
Yeah, they're blasting our Magi a bit. We don't like that so much. It's a lot of damage on those Magi. Gonna dodge that a bit there, swordsman. Let's let the Habiru move in. Or our lower Egyptians, that is. Beautiful, beautiful.
War!
These lower Egyptian militia are getting annihilated.
I fear nothing! In short order!
Javelin boys keep taking out those archers. Alright, you guys move on the sides. Start chucking here. We're just gonna have you boys kind of hold out for a moment. You're taking a lot of damage. Start dealing with Baldassare.
Loose! I will be legend!
I will be legend.
Lumps! On the march!
Javelins there. We'll try and get some slow-mo shots of the fight. Magi being harassed. The AI does know what your weakest and softest targets are, so they're going all in on our Magi. Thankfully, that means they're going to be avoiding trying to shoot at Ramesses himself, which I think is a good thing.
Your warriors are wavering.
Yeah, they'll be okay. I trust in them. Pharaoh's raining down. We're going to be losing lots of lower Egyptian militia to start. They're going to be laying in piles for the most part. But you can see there, these guys they're not wearing anything. They have sandals and a towel, and that is it. They have a shield at the very least. Epic duel. What? He dodged it? Brother. Oh, with the shadow of the arrows flying over top. What a fantastic. Listen, Pharaoh is great. Hands down in the story. Alright, you guys fall back. You're going to take a little bit of damage while you're running, but I think that's fine. We'll go ahead and take things out of slow-mo, and we'll just have all of our archers focus fire Baldassare.
It's within your
Oh,
grasp.
these poor guys. Sorry, lower Egyptian militia.
We will fight another day!
I mean, you thought you were elite.
Lost the victory point.
Enemy has lost a victory point, and their will to fight. Ooh, yeah, that was a quick. You should have dodged that one, fool. Go ahead and pick his spear
I
up
was
quick.
fated to win!
We have a spear and a bow. Only 169 fall on our side. Nice. The lower Egyptian militia are they're struggling. They don't like battle very much. They're sad that they have to be here. Alright, so I'm not going to be doing any sacking, looting. We're just going to occupy.
I have earned this city.
Sinai belongs to Egypt.
My ambition is
Oh wow, a
rewarded.
Hittite consort too. Diplomatically speaking, having a companion from the culture with whom you're trying to intrigue can break down barriers and build bridges. Very true. Cortez found this out when he was trying to deal with the Aztecs.
Destiny calls me, and I am compelled to answer.
Deal with. Not very kindly either. I will go ahead and grab the final point into up to level 10 here for Archer. Not the final, we get up to 15. But I think we're going to circle back around now and start going on his presence to drop upkeep. I mean, these are some nice hefty bonuses here. Extra movement by 15%. The charge ability, less cooldown for that charge ability by 30%. More speed for the whole army and more charge bonus for the whole army too. So we're some fast chargy boys. In fact, 17 charge bonus on these guys is pretty good. How fast do they have to? 46? That's pretty speedy. Our Magi are just about the same. We didn't get any kind of chariot or anything from that battle, which is a little bit sad. Sukkot is going to be our main source of food, which makes sense. And we also probably want to just pop in the woodcutting yard here.
Egypt's glory.
That's a interesting looking icon. And then besides, I think Ramesses, you're good to go. We don't have a ton of food, so for this first little bit, normally I would recruit up ourselves a secondary general very early on. But for this campaign, I think we're not going to. Got one more idle workforce, so we could go for the military office, which is going to give us even more recruit rank. I think if anything, we need to increase happiness and just growth in general, while also getting ourselves the chariots whenever we're able to. We need 3 idle workforce. Since we're already starting this campaign worshipping Ra, not getting chariots very early on is going to be a huge mistake. So our next build is going to be probably going to be the chariots. But let's go ahead and we'll snag influence and happiness in adjacent provinces. It's so useful. But so is replenishment and workforce growth. It'll keep us cruising along nicely. 188 to speed that along. We do have a lot of gold to start, but I don't want to spend it there. Let's see if we can get Ramesses perhaps married with someone nice. He's a T. I'm going to need all the help with these Egyptian names, so please forgive me for butchering them and help me out when you can. I am happy. She's dull-witted. That's not great. Well, on your way then, madam. Let's see if we can't come into diplomacy, which is where we're going to spend a little bit of time. Ooh, Senakati, man, you were... They changed his model. He looks great. The Overlord. Oh, I am too. What is the Overlord title? Is this what you get for being an Egyptian leader? Who wants a non-aggression pact? This guy does. He's fighting my papa, so we're not going to do that. A non-aggression pact with Bay, though, keeps him off our back for a little bit. We absolutely cannot trust him. What I'm going to do is come in here, have him give me gold per turn just for a non-aggression pact. A little bit of food doesn't hurt either. We'll go for something like this.
A victory for...
Exactly. And we can probably even turn Bay against Irsu. We're gonna need at least a couple of allies to deal with Irsu. He acts very much like Scarbrand, and he just annihilates everything in his path. This faction is a horde. Interesting. One of the coolest things I think about Pharaoh too is if you want to try to figure out who does and doesn't want things, you just come down here who what they're not interested in. We don't have we have a lot of stone to start. We could always do with some more.
Never back down.
Alicia and I think it's Marion are fighting over the control over the Bronze Island here now, which I think is awesome. Alicia has the upper hand, so they do tend to win. I'm not going to do any trading with the Canaanites, though. I would prefer to do that all with Senakati or...
forward to our meetings.
Since he likes us so much, he's going to have a predisposition to giving us more goodies than not, so we can go ahead and just ask for like 500 stone here. And see what he wants for it. 54 gold. I'm not really willing to give him anything that we can't replenish yet, so 500 stone for... He wants gold and he wants bronze. We're replenishing bronze, so how about we give you, let's say, 20? You want a good bit of bronze, do you? I have a lot, so 100 is just kind of more than I'm willing to give. So we'll do 100 bronze, and then let's say... Starting the haggling already. Man, you were not easy to haggle with. We'll just drop this a little bit then. Ooh, 100 for 375, 80, 81, 2. Alright, haggle Ramesses activated. 88 is as high as we can get it. Fair enough, we'll take it. I thought we were about to declare war.
Good.
I accept your offer.
Your offer, friend.
Friend. Thanks, Dad.
All will remember me.
There's several kind of alliances that are already kind of existing. I'm guessing these are the vassals to Renepta.
Is to be cunning.
Indeed. So he has the Shedit, the Het Nisut, and then the Kimenu as his vassals. So making friends with him is probably a good idea.
What does the son of Setnacht have to say?
Oh, so it's Setnacht, not... Okay, so I'll remember that. Well, I would love to steal some of your stone. I'm not going to go quite as heavy into diplomacy with the Egyptians as I did with the Assyrians or over with the Aegeans, just because he is not long for this world, and the civil war in Egypt is kind of part of the game. We'll make this work. He wants gold too. Brother. You know what? No one gets any deals then if we're going to be like that.
I speak, others listen.
Oh, what I do want to do before we take on out of there is find some marriage matches, some female matches for Ramesses. So, the
Do
Shedit.
you see this deal as part of your destiny, Ramesses?
Well, that makes it creepy, so no. She's a pious zealot. So we're looking for someone that's going to have a higher chance of having children. So not the pious zealot.
For
That seems
Pharaoh's glory.
like a mistake.
Let us talk then.
Let us
I'm
talk.
sure there is much to say.
She's a magician's apprentice. See, that's fine. We can have Ramesses with a magician. It seems like that's a fantastic match. He says, no, absolutely not. Excuse me, sir, do you know who I am? What if I give you... No, this is not going to work at all. Even though the... So what we need to do instead is just build up some relations with him. He's... Oh, never mind, he's about to go away. He's at war with Seti. We don't want to make deals with you then.
All will remember me.
Okay, well,
Please be assured, I am the most forthright
genius
man you will
mind.
meet.
Go ahead and snag some Canaanite ladies. Oh, remarkable beauty, and not from Alright then, Bay. Overlord Bay. Apparently not. He's begotten by the sun god. What do you mean not? Ultimatum. You either... We're going to turn this into a Trojan War kind of deal. We'll find someone for Ramesses. No worry. First turn, that's not a problem. He's not going to be alone forever. Oh, we've got Royal Decrees available, which is going to be our research. Egyptians don't start with any pre-unlocked like all of the other factions they've added, where they all kind of start with... Oh, yeah, they do. I'm wrong. Life of the Soldier is what we start with. 75 experience per turn. Sweet, I'm happy to be wrong there. Let's go ahead and snag the Perpetual Dedication to get us another additional God slot as quickly as we can. It's going to be 11 turns that way, and it's going to be 14 that direction, so let's get the God slot as fast as possible. I think that's just about everything we can do for this turn here. We'll go ahead and take a look at our victory objectives. For Pharaoh, your objectives are a little bit more... kind of pave your own path. You have points you're going to be accumulating, though, as you do different tasks and achieve different things throughout your campaign. So major, minor, and ultimate victory. I'm not sure what goals we're necessarily going to set for this campaign. I'd like you to go ahead and help me out there. I'll figure them out as we go, but we'll probably have our own kind of custom goals. I'd like to become the Pharaoh, of course. But besides that, maybe launching a raid on Knossos and taking the Gold Island would be kind of cool. We'll see. Also, taking Babylon would be pretty cool. Maybe just going after all of the provinces or the capitals for the other cultures. We'll see how long we end up making this campaign kind of based on overall interest. So for the things we can learn right now, you can get points through Conquest, which is taking the lands of your ancestors, so all of Egypt. Let's got all of the Egyptian sacred lands. The foreign conquests of conquering lands in other places that are not your own will only grant you so many victory points. It's not going to be nearly as many, but you do gain some for foreign conquests. And then for owning cult centers, which for now we have none. We start off a little bit slow here with Ramesses, mostly for battle. So the Shrine of Ra is going to give us more melee defense on recruitment. That's pretty great. And then workforce growth. I mean, sounds good. Yeah, having this be the ambush. Oh, we can't. Oh no, this one here. So the best way to get ambushes on your enemies are to put out a lookout post, interact with it, and then post up in an ambush right in front of it. The AI factions love to try to destroy your unguarded outposts, especially the military ones, and so they will just kind of come on into it like flies to a flame, and then you strike. So we'll probably go ahead and put one of these in when we're about ready for war. Nikel is making our bronze, though. So I'm going to go ahead and tear out the outpost, which seems strange, but we're going to go ahead and do it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in that Egyptian lookout post here. In Neb-Gehez, we definitely are going to want to put... So I don't think we're going to get attacked from the seas, which is kind of famous last words. We're going to put in the economic trading post here, and then the Shrine to Ra here for more workforce growth. Suck it, we're going to do the same thing, where we're going to throw in trading post here, and then we're going to go for the Shrine to Ra. So just maximize our favor with Ra, and maximize how much workforce growth we're gaining across all of these provinces here. Neb-Gehez, we can go for one more. This is probably the best place for a fort, which is completely stop anyone from coming on up the coast. We could also make sure we have legitimacy. Oh, we're not actually able to build an obelisk yet. Oh, really? So we haven't even joined the Egyptian culture. That's very intriguing. Okay, so I guess we'll just save for a moment then. Extra influence, though, would be quite nice. Our influence isn't great. The lower it drops, just the less gold you'll be gaining from gold mines. If it drops too far, though, you'll end up gaining less bronze. and then less food by a hefty amount. So you want to keep your influence in check. That's about all we can get to for this turn, though. So we'll come on back up to Ramesses, do some recruiting. We can handle a little bit of hits to our bronze, so let's go ahead and get us some more elite troops while we can. So let's get, I'd say, well, the Chargers are awesome. They have no way to defend themselves from arrows, which they're going to be basically prime targets. We're going to grab some Magi swordsmen.
Answer the call of fate.
And then another unit of archers.
Become part of my legend.
Yeah, the Magi archers are just so much more elite. We're going to get a whole, but we're going to flood the field with Habiru. But first, I want a nice core of Sheridan and Magi for our kind of background here. Indeed. And that should be our first turn on the beautiful coast here of Sinai. Alright, new troops have now been added to our pool, and it's time to move on Azati, land of baked goods. I mean, how many? 6 guarding? We've got 10. No one tells me what to do. And if they decide to be foolish and come outside the settlement again, it makes it way easier for us. We didn't even have to catch the place on fire last time. Canaan will yield. Let's do it. We got a sandstorm sweeping in, and that should be lots of fun. If we don't just annihilate them before it even arrives. We got 3 kind of main entrances. 4th one over here, but this is so easily funneled that I think we will be avoiding that at all costs. So they've got their archers. I think what we'll do is we'll do Sheridan. Battle lines. Kind of like this. We'll go. We'll actually keep some guys in reserves. Archers can kind of hang out right behind here. Keeps them from getting their... You know what, no, I do want them to be able to get direct shots. We're going to keep them on the flanks, or at least behind for now. We'll go ahead and have the Magi swordsmen. We're going to have one group in the center, the other group just waiting to see whichever flank they need to reinforce on. Ramesses back here, of course. Alright, so archers and Sheridan. Front line. Guard mode for you lads, guard mode for our archers, including Ramesses. Honestly, we probably want guard mode for our Sheridan too. They have some pretty good where they can actually go ahead and give ground, where they can fall back. Gives them more melee defense, and they will actually throw javelins. As long as they're in guard mode, they'll throw javelins while they back up too, which is so useful. I'll see if I can show it off here in this battle, maybe. We'll see. Would advance. Out here. I guess they decided not to. Ramesses, go ahead and fall to the side. One of my other favorite things they have added with the Dynasties update is they've really changed how visibility works. So you can see, you really can't see anyone inside the settlement until we get a little bit closer. Really, we going for another one of these? Are we coming out to us? Alright, well. Ready to get caught on fire. We'll let Ramesses run up and be a big nuisance. We'll also let them have flaming arrows and set on the side here. And you can enjoy those. Alright, Ramesses, fall back just a little bit here. We don't want to get necessarily caught by their archers. Alright, so now is when we split the group. Swordsmen come this way. Fire arrows, go ahead and switch to normal. And get in there and start tearing up these archers. Oh, I'm sure they do. Charge here, sheep shooting here. Yeah, we have to get shot in the back just a little bit with the Magi, which is not a lot of fun, to be honest. Oh, really? One more group. Come on, archers. Let's finish these guys in the back here. Enemy lord has been slain. We'll go to the other one now. Beautiful work there, Bladesman. And they are going for the direct shots, but they're going to shoot straight through friendlies. Javelins throw here. Alright, their archers are gone. Those archers should be able to just direct shot in there. Like he said, Hashut. You better not be fighting for Hashut. Love the banner bearers. Actually wish there were a little bit more of them. I was hoping they would throw their javelins too. It seems like they have a hard time with those precursor weapons. That's not working. Either way, that looks to be a glorious victory. Magi cut a few fools down on the way in. We lost a few more in that fight. Yeah, that's what you get. Skulls for the skull throne. 500 experience too, nice. Who gets the golden sword this time? It is the archers. Well done, Magi archers. We lost 207 in the fighting. We appreciate your sacrifice, frontline. We do indeed.
I have earned this city.
True sons.
The
Sacred
gods have
land.
blessed me.
So I guess it's only a matter of time before we get to select between our ancient legacy. We have to choose a royal tradition, which is going to be Egypt, of course.
Destiny calls me.
I am
And I am
compelled
compelled
to
to
answer.
answer.
If we have any more followers that we've gained, I'd prefer to just grab ourselves a new chariot, but such is not the way. Go ahead and increase or decrease our upkeep and increase our line of sight since we're the faction leader. And actually, I think this one is a little bit of a trap early on. I think you probably actually end up wanting the Shield of the Magi. Whichever one gives us more recruiter rank. That's just for Magi, and the other one's just for the Sheridan. Ah, interesting. We'll go for melee defense for the Magi then. Vanguard deployment is very useful, but let's get that once we have a few more, because otherwise these guys just get overwhelmed, and that's not going to be a lot of fun.
My army will be elite.
My army will be elite. So let's get one more unit of
I
Magi.
summon the elite.
Actually, take it back. So we were going to want to not get them until we have that that skill on in. So let's go ahead and get ourselves one archer, one Habiru militia. They both only cost food, so they'll be a little bit less taxing on our economy there. Take the Vizier's residence up to the next tier. This would give us the Kapesh warriors as well as the elite Magi archers. They just cost a lot of bronze. Let's go ahead and just take the Vizier's residence up to the next tier. No more workforce, but here in Azati. I think we do want the Egyptian way station to help us get across the desert without taking attrition. This is where we're going to want the ambush chance building. And then we'll go for, is this a food producing resource? Food producing regions? We'll go for that. Nickel is producing us our bronze, and I think we're gonna eventually put something in there. For now, though, nothing. Not really see 10% production on all resources once we hit it up above 80%. What's the issue? We've got Fenku merchants and Canaanite nomads. Really? Fenku merchants. Alright, well, let's come on back up to Ramesses. Before we do end the turn, getting married to someone in Sanaki's family would be strange. How would this work? So big.
I have heard much
Now
of
that
your
we're
exploits,
much
Ramesses.
cooler, how do
Most
you feel
impressive.
about diplomatic marriage with a not the remarkable beauty? And Ramesses. Still a -6. Alright, guess not then. We can just see who's available through the normal means. We've got Ikrafet, who was raised in the wild. Oh, interesting. Born into a life of struggle. Probably not. Loves family. This is the one. You don't even have to be a remarkable beauty. You love family. Perfect. Ramesses and Sit Amen. Happily ever after. Oh, she's 29. Happily ever after for... hopefully for some time. Not necessarily what we should have taken a closer look. So now with ages being added, on default, once your general or civilian hits rank the age of 60, they will then have a 2% chance of dying that year, and that's going to increase by 2% every year afterwards. So 3 turns later, they will have a 4% chance to die, and so on and so forth. You can increase that, or you can completely make it so that no one dies whatsoever, or you can make it so that you start the age-death process at the age of 20, and you have like a 6% chance that doubles from there, which is it's pretty spooky. So sit Amin and Ramesses. Happily ever after.
Greatness awaits.
Listen, Ramesses likes his older ladies. What can I say? Got a commandment available here in Sinai, so what is available for his royal gardens, his special one? Or no, it's for the people here. So we aren't going to be producing as much food, but 10 more growth. We drop enemy happiness by 10. Excuse me? Yeah, that's just like the other one. So what is it called here? Let the laborers rest? Well, that one's gone, actually. Oh, really? Professional recruiters. You lose happiness. No one likes it when someone walks up to you and asks if you like their uniform. Alright then. That will be the turn.
My ambition is rewarded.
I see you were looking at my Bajai headdress, so we know we can get you one of those.
Future of Egypt.
Alright, now we have Against the Darkness. Faith and in and reverence to the benevolent gods must be our way if the malevolent elements of the pantheon are be kept at bay. Encourage their worship among the people. More ambush defense faction-wide and less construction cost for temples. So now we're on to Perpetual Dedication. First one, not as useful, but the Perpetual Dedication getting us an additional god slot absolutely is. So Marion got wiped out that very first turn, that makes sense. Hazor also. Wow, that's unfortunate for you guys. Ramesses up to rank 5, which is just glorious.
Chosen of Ra.
Chosen of Ra. Go ahead and keep moving along. Presence to this first bundle, which is going to give us more influence. The secondary bundle allows you to threaten people, dropping their morale by 10. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this little bundle level, and we're going to start working on Fortitude as well, up to the same. Increasing melee defense by 3 just as a base just seems good to have.
Blessed
Very
by the
good
gods.
to have. So, our next conquests... Oh, they made Ashkelon have more provinces. Before, they only had the province of Ashkelon. And now maybe they start with Jerusalem as well? Or maybe they just crushed Hazor here at Jerusalem. Either way, the cat-riding gator faction. Maybe gator-riding cat faction. So Hathor and Beersheba have gold and food. We don't really have any gold production or stone production. Where do we be getting stone from? I guess we just need to secure the rest of the Sinai, huh? We can leave Ashkelon to do its own thing.
Maybe I should call
There
off your
are the
head
Paliset and
take it
Jerusalem,
back to my tribe.
which is great. I do wish that we had the Kingdoms of Israel
I am
in
unstoppable.
the game. I do understand that we have issues with current day stuff, but it's history. So I think we should be able to put that aside.
Destined for greatness.
I also think Beersheba is not going to be ready for a Ramesses Inquisition. No one ever is. Come right over to the edge of Azadi here. They've got one guy posted up in the settlement, and there's 8 defending it. They're at least a little bit more elite, though. They're full of Shasu, which are the tier 2. You can see they've got 30 attack and 36 defense. They're not nearing our Magi swordsmen, but they're much better than our lower Egyptian militia. And even better than our Habiru.
Chosen of Ra.
But I don't think elite... How many archers did you have? 3 total. One of those being the Shasu. I think we can take them. They're in mustering stance, so we're going to go ahead and jump them.
Your glory does not intimidate.
That's good to hear. You're not at war with anyone, so I can't become a
Boundless ambition.
mercenary. Just charge straight on in. I'm not going to have Sanakti come with us because there's no telling if he will actually join us. I never stopped being at war. But pessimistic way to live, sir. Auto-resolve thinks we're going to drop kick you. But our guys are going to be wounded afterwards, and that is likely the truth. So Hanno, of the yellow scarf, prepare yourself. Ooh, we're gonna have sweltering weather right off the bat. I don't actually know if the Habiru have sweltering weather protection. We're gonna wait though, because I don't think my Bajai do either. We'll deploy like this. Okay. So I'm thinking we're gonna kind of set up here that we have no way to flank on this side. We're gonna go ahead and have our lower Egyptians here. I'm gonna put these guys directly behind. Axemen behind them as well, so we're gonna kind of move up the side here, but I want my javelins able to run up on people if we can. We've got 150 range, so that's gonna be less than my Magi. Good to have them up front and ready to take the brunt of the arrow fire before our Magi do. And Ramesses can kind of do whatever he wants. He's Ramesses after all. Something like that for the flanks then. Okay, so Ramesses and the archers in their group and in guard mode, and then everyone else, you guys, except for the axemen, in guard mode. Let it begin. Are they going to come out towards us? I think they're thinking about it. They might believe they have a better opportunity to stay posted up, and I do believe that they indeed do. Let's go ahead and grab this side. We can kind of rotate them so we have a bit of a concave formation.
Without hesitation.
And then we'll continue to move up towards the enemy. Can't see the enemy. Oh, they don't have any arcs. I was going to say, we can't see their fire arcs because they have clubs.
Come and taste my blade, Egyptian.
I mean, say it with your chest. Why are you running away? I thought we were going to come taste your blade, clown. Let's pull these back just in case there are archers. Yeah, there are archers back there, likely. I prefer not to get shot by them. Can't see the enemy archers. They're doing a good job of kind of staying back. Well, let's advance this group then. Start firing on my men. As soon as you do, I'm coming for you. There they are. Ramesses. Let's have you switch to fire arrows and do some... Is it less range? Oh, it is by 20. Interesting. And never mind, just go for normal shot.
I won't be stopped.
See if you can't hit these lads here. We'll bring everyone else forward. Move up just a bit there. Looks like they are sending their general forward like a big old fool. Ramesses gonna come off to this side. Our archers are probably all starting to think about shooting. They never miss. Get him, Ramesses. In fact, they're starting to shoot our front line too. Let's let him just kind of dump the shot on himself. We are losing men quite quickly. The return fire should be pretty withering. Jasu archers dying in droves as well. In fact, so much so, let's go ahead and get our Magi archers up there too.
Fight for Pharaoh.
We need to harass them. This unit I'm actually going to keep here. We're going to bring these other guys up with the other group. We're going to keep them on one flank. That way our javelins get up there and do some work too.
Ready to launch.
Taking a little bit of return fire. Oh, it's because I sent the Habiru in. No, I wonder why. That's fine. Keep dealing with those archers.
I fear nothing.
Javelin boys deal with this general. I mean, that's going to be brutal. And I can lose as many of my frontline guys as I want. Keep firing here.
Your warriors are wavering.
I bet they are.
Archers!
I bet they are. Send these guys in.
Sons of Egypt!
Swords, time for you to engage as well.
Like that! Wipe them out!
Ah, their general's gone.
Clubs!
Problem is that friendly fire is also coming into effect here. Alright, every archer we have left, go after these guys. We're losing a lot of our lower Egyptian conscripts.
With me!
Javelins advance, Lewit Hanno. See if we can have our Magi move in.
Ah, does that hurt? Get marching! God, no!
Yeah, not coming into battle with armor is a bad time. Let's have our archers switch targets to going after their general now.
Blacken the sky!
Oh, I didn't see those guys there. That's gonna be bad news bears for
Javelins!
our Magi at first, at least.
Aim for the heart! One of your units has depleted their ammunition.
One of your units, that would be Ramesses.
With me!
Keep firing on Hanno here.
Blacken the sky!
He's running. Go ahead and pull you guys back, though. We're not taking too much friendly fire damage.
Son,
Those tribesmen are gone. We might have them just
has
for...
lost a victory point.
That's that. Still took quite a few casualties there. Hopefully they don't have another elite army that's just sitting in the wings. And we end the battle there. Oh no, that's not good. We're just gonna let him lay there now. He's not dead yet. I mean, probably soon. There's an artery there or two. Excellent win. We'll go ahead and just occupy Beersheba.
I have earned this city.
We have indeed.
The gods have blessed me.
They did have another army.
Prod me again.
Welcome, Naaman. I mean, I figured they had a secondary one, but I'm glad it's smaller than I had initially thought. Are you the faction leader?
Glory does not intimidate.
Oh, that means that is likely their biggest army. And my glory doesn't
Destiny
intimidate
calls
him.
me,
How perfect.
And I am compelled to answer.
That makes things way easier. So we've got a livestock pasture here. The gods have given us cattle to turn grass into meat. Indeed. Bacon is quite a miraculous substance. We'll go ahead and just grab the extra growth here. Take it back. Yoink, we want this settlement to just be giving us stuff for now, and we'll just we'll have it be a woodcutting yard.
Ramesses the
So we can
bold.
turn wood into other resources through our trade. Oh, we've got a Shrine of Ra behind us. Anything else we build is going to get blown up, so we'll leave that alone. We could upgrade Azadi. Since we're not near the Nile, we don't have amazing farms that we can put in over here. I'm thinking, if anything, we just want to go for more growth here at the Healing Hall. With the Healing Hall. And then we can further boost these other buildings a little bit easier. So I'm thinking we build eventually for the woodworker, the bronze workers district. That's going to be a long time coming. I also think it's going to be a good idea to get an additional lord here in Azadi. That way we're not going to be, at least the lads from Ashkelon aren't going to be incentivized to attack us. So let's find someone who can be a proper general. Nebane Jadu. Ooh, I'm not going to be able to say your name. You're going to have to be our Kevin for this campaign with a name like that. But he has 2 points into the presence, which is going to give us a little bit of upkeep reduction.
My name will be legend.
Indeed. Kevin. Magi Captain. We'll give him a little proper name. Kevin the Magi Captain. Perfect.
Warrior of Egypt.
We've got a bow and some armor, so nothing for you, bud. Sorry. Poisoner. I actually don't mind taking the consort over here to you. We'll keep the poisoner on Ramesses. Perfect. And we'll have him just start grabbing some Habiru militia for a nice front line. Glorious stuff. We've got our local deity screen up now, so we can see who we're worshipping and all of the buffs that they are going to be providing. You can have 3 added to your Pantheon. I wish it was more, but I understand 3. 3 is a lot of buffs to kind of juggle. So as you're getting more favor with the gods through those different shrines and other buildings and landmarks, you'll be going up in tiers. So as those tiers increase, you'll be getting different tiers of benefits as well. So here for Ra, we'll get more workforce growth by 10, melee defense and recruitment by 3, extra recruitment from melee infantry. So it said we were getting buffs through chariots. Seems like that's completely wrong. That bit of flavor text might need some updating. So this is all for melee infantry. It's giving them resistance for missiles, it's giving them more melee defense, giving them more attack when they're devoted. This is all pretty good stuff. I guess we can also see everyone in the area too, so if we wish to, we could go ahead and switch over to Ta, which looks to be more about generating happiness, dropping recruitment cost, giving you more food, then gold during crisis and prosperity if you have buildings that produce them. Ta's not very bad either. Just kind of the opposite, where Ramesses, or Ra rather, is growth and defense. Or growth and kind of combat potential. Ta is more happiness and just economy in general. Yeah, you get some charge bonus, but that's not really... 22% isn't that much. Oh, you have Yam too, which is kind of the mirror, looks like, to Ptah. Interesting stuff. Those are some big numbers on resources from Raise and raiding. Definitely for Irsu. Alright, well, we're here at Beersheba, and not really anything else for us to do this turn. Let's just check diplomacy real fast.
In the name of duty.
Wouldn't mind being buddies with Seti, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Do you need a step, Ramesses, so we may talk face to face?
Brother. You have received the head cock of annoyance. Well, still, either way, I'm going to go ahead and declare or join his war with Upa Duat. Oh, he doesn't want me to. We could at least start building up some positive relations by declaring war on someone that he doesn't like. The old AI bias might cause us some problems, but you know what? Yeah, no, I can't trust that. Let's just get a barter agreement with him. He doesn't care about stones. We'll take 20 of it per turn for... Giving you bronze is such a bad idea. Say 5 bronze? That sounds good. 20 for 5.
Done.
We're building up some positive relations here with Seti. Same thing. Oh, we haven't met his wife. Sister Raya, wife Tosseret.
I will listen.
Okay, we'll just go for another barter agreement. Not a very large one. I'll just take maybe, let's say, 15 gold for... I'm willing to provide you quite a bit. 5 here, and then... Alright, you're being a greedy. We'll take it down to 10 gold. There we go, that looks good. 10 gold for 9 of each.
We have a
Allow us to afford maybe some more elite units a little bit earlier on, which I think is fantastic. Besides skill points for Ramesses, of course. We'll go ahead and get the last point into presence. And we had outposts, construction, and Sinai. Oh yeah, we have one more slot. I mean, yeah, we do. We could go for happiness. I don't really see a reason not to. Alright, soldiers recruited across the board. We're still doing just fine in terms of our economy. Let's pull up our treasury real quick, see if we can... Current trades going on is Bay, Seti, and Merneptah, where we're importing for nothing. So we'll have to keep in mind that 4 gold is going away soon. We don't really need to build up too much troops here at Azadi. We just need to have someone here to keep them a little bit worried about it. Also, because I want to move on Beersheba quite quickly, let's go ahead and pop in an economic outpost here. We're going to make them aggressive. Let's see if they can try and sack it. We will, of course, try to stop that at all costs by moving to about here. We don't want to be right next to the Egyptian trading post, because if we are, they have a higher chance of actually dodging us. Really?
Forging my fate.
Well, next turn we aren't going to be able to do any, so we're going to be at least at 14 troops per turn, so hopefully this ambush actually succeeds. Otherwise, we're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage here for going after Hathor. In fact, this might not be worth it either way. We'll see. Alright, so back at Azati, everything else is doing a nice upgrade, so we're actually going to go ahead and go for the upgrade to Nickel, so we can get maximized bronze production. Happiness is decreasing. That's no good. Getting a happiness building in Azati or one of the others is probably a really good call to kind of sort that out. Nothing really we need through diplomacy just yet, so let's pull up. Our Magi captain hasn't been moved. How much for the Hibiru? Really cheap, so let's just get a couple more archers.
Every soldier counts.
Every soldier counts. So if I raise up your Sheba Shu, or is that just the outpost is telling us? Yeah, up here is probably where we're going to put in the ambush outpost. But for now, getting the way station just to increase influence a little bit further is probably not a bad idea. Or we'll save. Ambush, go. Alright, so they are demanding almost all of our gold for some food. So what if I give you a counteroffer where I say no, no thanks. They want us to be their vassal. Who do you think I am? In fact, you don't care about bronze, which is interesting. You don't care about much of anything. I'll trade you 50 stone for, I guess, 15 wood. What about 51 will work, I guess. We'll do a bit of haggling.
Very well.
Very well. He's going to be dealing with the sea people quite soon, too.
My dynasty will be a
Alright, so we get our first mission / ambition here, which is just going to give us benefits such as resources, units, and victory points upon completion. So we can either claim the capital of any enemy, so province capital giving us 500 gold and 200... flip them. 500 stone, 200 gold. Borders, what borders? Wiping out Beersheba, giving us a nice bit of food and some stone. Or taking down it, so it's all just conquering. I think we want to go for this one, because stone and wood, especially this amount of it, would be great for further boosting our production of our settlements. What I don't like is that they chose to kind of set up and just recruit.
No one rules me.
No one rules him.
Greatness awaits.
We're going to pull back and encamp stance.
Onwards.
Get a bit of a cold shiver there. And we're going to have Ramesses.
Warriors should fight beside me.
Just get one more of each
I
again.
will gather the greatest to my cause.
Yep, we're going to keep building up our troops. I would love to have Kevin come join.
A legacy. Maybe I
Fact.
should cut off your head and take it back to my tribe.
Maybe. But what if instead we get a barter agreement going? Where you're giving me 20 stone for some of our wood? 19 stone for some of our wood? And then you don't stab me. Don't fail me, he says.
Warrior of Egypt.
You first, brother.
Duty
Go ahead and bring
calls.
Kevin up and around, that way he can help out.
Strength is all that matters.
I think it's a little bit longer to crush these fools than I was initially expecting. We're just going to keep getting more Habiru,
Join me, warriors.
because they only are costing us about half the food that any of our Magi are. We'll get some Magi with Ramesses when we can. And with that, we've got 2 more idle workforce. I think we really do need to sort out happiness. So here in Azadi, let's go ahead and grab the happiness building. So we'll get a Senate house. And I actually think, nope, 200 gold is way too much. Could grab it in Sakat as well. Really fix up our happiness. It'll only go +4. I think we're going to be dealing with a rebellion at some point. Without multiple buildings changing that. Yeah, fair enough.
Egypt's finest.
Outpost to build, construction to build in North Sinai, I think not. We'll go ahead and give it one more intern, though we can kind of get the next year and unlock our actual mechanics. Also, I'd like to see if these 3 armies are brave enough to come fight us.
Boundless ambition.
I think they will have more units than us as soon as the next turn rolls around.
Who bother me?
Oh boy. I saw 13 units come across the field there. Alright, well the good news is we are inside an encampment, so what that basically means we've got this square fortress to defend, and they're going to be streaming towards us in extreme numbers. So as long as we can kind of hold the line, yes, our lower Egyptian militia are quite weakened, so this is going to be a little bit of a scary one. For the fate of all mankind. We will pick up in the next episode with the defense against the Desirous, but for now I'm out of time for today. Thank you all so much for stopping by the first of our Ramesses campaign. If you all enjoyed the video, please leave a like for Light God and a sub for the Sub Throne. I'll see you all next one.